What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Nick Saban retiring and who the Alabama next head coach will be. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, as it does help out this channel so much, and enjoy the video. What a crazy few days it has been for college football. It's been incredible to see the change and, what has kind of aspired with Nick Saban, retiring. That's the biggest headline of, for a long time. That's a huge headline. Nick Saban retired from Alabama. What a fantastic run he went on there to win 6 national championships, to win 7 in total in college football, to coach some in the NFL. He, in my opinion, is the GOAT of coaching, in my opinion. He's the best coach. He's the coach that I grew up around my whole entire life. He's been at Alabama for 17 years. That's a long time. He was the guy that if you get a call from Nick Saban when you're getting recruited and he offers you, Alabama either has to be the favorite or a top 3 for you. He is that good of a coach. He recruits himself. When Nick Saban walks into your locker room, you're supposed to feel it. You're supposed to, give that all the attention to him, because he is the guru of college football, putting guys in the league, setting other coaches like Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, Mario Cristobal. I could go down a huge list of coaches that have done some great things under him and moved on and been fantastic. And I'm sure if you ask all those coaches, they would tell you Nick Saban is their biggest inspiration moving up. Learning under him has put them in the position today to succeed at the programs they're at. And that's just huge. And I honor, and I always will honor, a guy that sets other people up for, success like Nick Saban did, and to set himself up. He is the greatest of all time in my book, and I appreciate what Nick Saban did for the sport. This is a team that lost to Texas, obviously a really good Texas team, a playoff team, but then they go and struggle with South Florida. They struggled in a lot of games early in the year, but they turned it around. Jalen Milroe, the offensive coordinator, Nick Saban, they turned it around and made a playoff, won the SEC. That's incredible to do, and I think Nick Saban will say it was probably one of his toughest coaching jobs and maybe one of his favorite coaching jobs of just turning it around, but it probably took everything out of him to do that. I think it's one of the best coaching jobs, I've seen in a little bit, because obviously you got, guys from other programs, succeeding when, over their expectations, going over their expectations. You see that all the time in college football. But what I admire about what Nick Saban did was where they started to where they finished. They were 2 completely different teams, and that has to be due to terrific coaching. Obviously, a disappointing end to the season, losing to a really good Michigan team, the team that won the national championship in overtime. Alabama, they're right there. And, I know Nick Saban and the Alabama and those players wanted to get that national championship, to get it to number 7 at Alabama and 8 for Nick Saban. It would have been incredible, but, to call it quit the way he did, I'm excited for Nick Saban to see what he does after football, and more so, excited that he actually gets to enjoy retirement, because college football, I imagine, is a very stressful job, especially nowadays with the portal and NIL. All this Nick Saban talk, we talk about Nick Saban for hours on how great he is about his career, but I wanted to give that shine to Nick Saban early in this video. But now let's talk about who Alabama for the future is going to replace. They did name a head coach as in the afternoon of Friday, and this is really exciting news. They get Washington's Kalen DeBoer. Before we go into the Kalen DeBoer, the Alabama hire, what would I grade this hire, whatever. But, Alabama, they went after Dan Lanning. That was the first rumored guy. They went after Steve Sarkisian, who was also rumored. They both declined the job because I believe they both were offered it. They went after Mike Norvell. I think he declined it as well. Or he may have just not got, the offer. I don't know. But, those guys didn't get the job. Lane Kiffin, probably the same type of thing. But to go out and get all those guys and try to get all those guys and have a chance is incredible, and it speaks to how good the Alabama job is. But the guy that I always thought was going to get it was Kalen DeBoer, because, that dude's a winner. I looked at his stat. In college football, as a head coach, Kalen DeBoer is 104-12. That's incredible. Dude is a proven winner in the sport. He was at Fresno State, won a ton of football games, got the promotion to go to Washington, and ever since he's been at Washington, he's won. And he had, the first year they went to the Alamo Bowl and beat Texas. Guess what? Second year, Michael Penix finished the regular season, win the Pac-12, the last Pac-12 championship, and go to the playoff, beat Texas, and, compete for the national championship, which they were in the game for a large portion of. Kalen DeBoer, I think, deserves the Coach of the Year award. I don't even know if he got it. I didn't really pay much attention to it. But he deserves that award to me because what he's done at Washington is truly incredible. And he's done it as a team that is a little bit veteran. He's brought in some older guys. He has Michael Penix Jr. They had a few 6-year, guys. But he's done a tremendous job there, and I applaud him for the job he did at Washington. Now he's the next Alabama head coach. What an exciting time for the sport, for him. This is a great opportunity to be next after Nick Saban, which is going to be a lot of pressure. But if there's a guy I think that can do it, it's Kalen DeBoer. I'm excited about this hire. I'm really excited about what Alabama looks like, about, what he does, what's the change, because Nick Saban's always going to be in that presence of that university, of that program. He's going to make sure everything's good. He went into work, the past few days, just making sure everything stays together in this, switch. Kalen DeBoer is a guy that is going to win a lot of Alabama. Now, for Alabama fans, which I'm sure there's a few watching, obviously, in this video, I wouldn't expect Kalen DeBoer to be Nick Saban. I don't think that's your expectation. But I think with the expectation of Kalen DeBoer, you can win national championships under him still. He can lead you there, and he can make you a contender. I think you got to be excited about that. And, to have the opportunity to compete is going to be, to continue that tradition at Alabama. Alabama can still recruit better than anyone. They can still, Nick Saban is a big factor in how Alabama, how he rose the ceiling, how the dynasty is at Alabama. And Nick Saban is a big factor, but Alabama still has a name. They still have a name. People are still going to want to play Alabama. There's no doubt about it. I personally would grade this coaching hire, I would say about an A-. I think it's as good as you get. I think the guys, it's really hard to move on from a program, especially around this time, because a lot of these teams, a lot of these coaches have their rosters already figured out. So it's really hard to pull guys away from their teams right now, especially like a January 11th, where it's kind of, the transfer portal is kind of dying out. They're focused on spring ball right now, winter workouts. So it's hard to get Kalen DeBoer, who just played in a national championship game this week, who, Washington was going to have some struggles, I believe, next year. To get him, it's really exciting time, I think, as an Alabama fan. Obviously, sad time. Nick Saban is moving on and retiring, but, this is a good get by them. It'll be interesting to see what his coaching staff looks like. I mean, man, if they go out and get like Ryan Grubb from Washington, if he stays with Kalen DeBoer, which is a high possibility, man, that team's going to be good. He is one of the best offensive minds in college football, I believe, Ryan Grubb. And with what he could do with the Alabama offense, with the recruits and the playmakers that they could have, or that they do have, that's exciting. But I think Ryan Grubb may be in the running for the Washington job. I feel like he will get an interview for that job and be the head coach there. So that could be a possibility. But, I'd say he either stays at Washington, be the head coach, or he moves on to coach with DeBoer at Alabama. So it'll be interesting to see what DeBoer does with that coaching staff. But that'll do it for me. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.